नंदन जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरंगंधर विकगिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शतर शत शिशुमार भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शतर शत शिशुमार भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शतर शत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतर शत शिशुमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतर शत शिशुमार भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद साई नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतर शत शिशुमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद अष्टतर शत शिशुमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यल प्रविष्ट महाभगवत श्री गोरक्षरस बाबाजी महाराज की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानु गौड़िय गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम चै श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौरमंडल ब्रजमंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट विदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय श्री बलदेव प्रभु की जय। जय बलदेव रास यात्रा की जय। जय श्री कृष्ण वसंती रास यात्रा की जय। जय श्री श्यामानंद प्रभु की जय। तो देव शुभ आविर्भाव तिथि की जय। जय श्री वंशीवदनानंद ठाकुर की जय। तृतीय शुभ आविर्भाव तिथि की जय। जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा धन्यवाद प्रणाम। नृ हरि प्रभु भवतारिणी माता जी, गुरुनिष्ठ प्रभु निताय मुकेश जी, Rukmini Didi, Raseshwari Mataji, and I see a bunch of other devotees there, but I don't know who you are. If you write a comment, I'll see your name. But Dandavat pranams to all of you, and pranams to all devotees watching in the future. I had a lot of trouble just now trying to get Zoom to work. This happens every now and then. It says there's a problem with my mic, and then it just keeps on freezing, and then I try closing Zoom and opening it, and again, and it just the only thing that works when this happens is I have to restart my computer, then somehow it works. But because we're starting so late, I'm going to skip the Mangalacharan today. But Jai, okay, I'll just do very short. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nityananda Namastubhyam Premananda Pradayane Kalo Kalmashanashaya Janava Pataye Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Shriman Rasarasarambi Vaṁśivata Tatastita Karshan Venusvaner Gopir Gopinata Shristuna Bhaktya Vihina Parada Lakshaya Kshiptastakama Dittaranga Madhye Kripamai Tvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charana Ravindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Dandavat. Pranams, everybody. So there's too much to read. Like there's too many things to read for this session, and so we're just gonna have to pick and choose things. There's the first chapter of Caitanya-bhāgavata that has a very elaborate description of the glories of Nityananda Prabhu and Baladev Prabhu, and especially Baladev's Ras Yatra. There's also in the book, my Srila Gurudev's book, Nectar of Govinda Lila, the chapter on Vasanta Panchami goes, and there's a beautiful description of the Krishna's Vasanti Ras Lila. That's an amazing description, that one. Um, Also, there are some small things. I'm going to read the small things first. First, we'll read about, and then, yeah. First, we'll read about Śrī Vaṁśivadanānanda Ṭhākura and Śrī Śyāmānanda Prabhu from the book by Śrīla Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Gosvāmī Mahārāja, Śrī Caitanya and his associates. And then there's just some little excerpts from Navadip Dham Mahatma and little thing from Jaiva Dharma about Vaṁśivadanānanda Ṭhākura. And then we will read from the about Ramghat from my Gurudev's book Rajmala Parikrama that talks a little bit about Baladev's gopis, and then we'll read from Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada his commentary on Caitanya-bhāgavata about Baladev Prabhu and his gopis and his Ras Lila. And then I'm not sure if we'll have time for the Vasanti Ras. Let's see how we like about Krishna's Vasanti Ras from Nectar of Govinda Lila. We'll see how we do on time. But yeah, I'm going to just jump right into it. Haribo Ashray Tattva Prabhu and Manjari Didi. Haribo. Haribo. Okay. I had all these windows and all these things ready to read, but then this stupid thing happened on Zoom and I had to close everything. So anyways, I got most of it back up, I think. Whatever. Okay, so first we will begin reading about, let's begin with Śyāmānanda Prabhu. Where is Śyāmānanda Prabhu? Should be after, there's Vaṁśivadanānanda Ṭhākura. It's Vaṁśivadana Ananda. Vaṁśivadanānanda. Vaṁśivadanānanda. Yeah, okay. Where is Śyāmānanda Prabhu? There he is. Okay. So Jai Śrīla Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. Śrī Śyāmānanda Prabhu was a servant of Subal in Krishna Lila. Wow, servant of Subal. He was the disciple of Hridayananda, or Hriday Chaitanya, a disciple of Gauridas Pandit, who is Subal in Krishna Lila. And from everything that I've understood, Subal is like, he's one of the main sakas. Like out of all the sakas, he is the one of Krishna's closest friends, very involved with all of Krishna's leelas with the gopis and Srimati Radhika. He has a very beautiful, unique relationship with Srimati Radhika directly. It's explained in Ujjvala Nilamani. And yeah, so maybe we can find that verse from Ujjvala Nilamani. I have, yeah, Vaijantimala sent me something to work on, and then I remember seeing that verse there. Okay. Yam loka bhuvikirtayanti hridayanandasya shishyam priyam sakye shri subalyayang bhagavata preshtanu shishyam tata. I don't know what the meter is for this. It seems to be all mixed up. Sa Shriman Rasikendra Mastaka Manishchite Mamahar Nisham Shri Radha Priya Narmamarmashu Ruchim Sampadayan Bhasatam. And this is from the Śyāmānanda Shatak. Oh. Oh, I get it. The meter. Sorry, let me re-sing this. This is the same meter as Shāda Gosvāmī Ashtakam. I got confused though because it's on 8 lines. So, Yam loka bhuvi kirtayanti hridaya nandasya sheshyam priyam sakyeshi subalya, sorry, sakyeshi subalyayang bhagavata preshtanu shishyang tata sa shriman rasikendra mastakamanis chitte mama harnisham Shri Radha Priya Narma Marma Suruchim Sampadayan Bhasatam. Shri Shyamananda was known in this world as Hridayananda's dear disciple. He was a follower of Subal Sakha, and he became the grand disciple of the Lord's dear associate. May he, the crest jewel of the connoisseurs of divine love, appear day and night in my mind, bringing me a fondness for the service of Shishi Radha Madhav's confidential joyous pastimes. It's from the Śyāmānanda Shataka. Śyāmānanda Prabhu was born on the full moon day of Chaitra in 1456 of the Shaka era, that's 1535 AD, in the town of Dharendra Bahadurpur, which is near the Kargapur railway station in Medinipur. His father was Sri Krishna Mandal and his mother Durika. Krishna Mandal's hometown was Dandeshwar, which lies on the banks of the Subarnareka river. The following statement is found in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Abhidhan. Sri Krishna Mandal used to live in a place called Ambua, near Dandeshwar. He formerly lived in Goda, the part of Bengal which lies on the banks of the Bhagirathi River, and only later moved to Dandeshwar, just across the present-day border in Orissa. Oh, so Śyāmānanda Prabhu's Oriya. Oh, well, at least he's born in Orissa. Śyāmānanda Prabhu's Shripats in the towns of Dharenda, Bahadurpur, Raini, or Rohini, Gopi Ballabhapur, and Nrsinghapur are very dear to his disciples. So many different Shripats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Shripats. Śyāmānanda Prabhu was born in the Sargopa subcaste, which fits in the category of Jalachala, that is, Brahmins who are permitted to only take water touched by its members. Interesting. Okay. Of course, a Vaishnava is beyond the material qualities and may take birth in a family of any race or caste. Anyone who thinks badly of Vaishnavas or judges them on the basis of their race or caste is destined for hell. And there's that famous verse, Arche Vishnu Shiladir, Guru Shunaramatir, Vaishnave Jati Budir. I'm not going to read the whole thing because we have so much to get through. I'm going to skip a little bit. Okay, so Śyāmānanda's parents had lost several children in childbirth, and they vowed to surrender their next child to Vishnu if he survived. Having suffered so much grief in the loss of their previous children, they first named Śyāmānanda as Dukhi, or unhappy, to ward off further distress. I have noticed that a lot, like a lot of different, from that time period, to see different, like there's Dukhi, that lady who brought water from Mahaprabhu during the Mahaprakash Leela, and I've seen it other places also. I guess that's what they would do sometimes at that time. They had lost the children, then they'd give a name like that to ward off further distress. Śyāmānanda's parents, Durika and Sri Krishna Mandal, made their home in Dandeshwar. This is a quote from Bhakti Ratnakar. His father was the best of the Sargopa caste, of impeccable character. Krishna was everything to him, and Krishna's devotees very dear. We cannot describe the virtues of his parents for fear of increasing the volume of this book. They previously lived in Dharenda, Bahadurpur, and people say that Śyāmānanda was born there. Though his brothers and sisters had all died in childbirth, nothing could stop him. Even so, his parents brought him up in sadness, and they called him Dukhi. Sad. Okay, so that's the first chapter of Bhakti Ratnakar, verse 351. It begins from 351. Śyāmānanda Prabhu's parents formed the appropriate rituals when their time came, such as the first eating of solid food and cutting of the hair. As he grew older, he studied Sanskrit grammar, etc. His parents were overjoyed to see his talents and his religious proclivity. Śyāmānanda Prabhu listened attentively to devotees when they spoke of Gauranga and Nityananda Prabhu's glories, and he would repeat them to others constantly. Whenever he listened to the activities of Gaur Nitai or Radha and Krishna, tears would flow in torrents from his eyes. Dukhi served his parents devotedly, and they told him to get initiated so that he could fully commit himself to the service of the Lord. Dukhi agreed and told him that he wished to take Diksha from Hriday Chaitanya in Ambika Kalna. Going there would also give him the chance to see the Ganga and bathe in it. His parents happily gave him permission to go. When Dukhi arrived in Ambika Kalna, he threw himself at the feet of Hriday Chaitanya, who upon becoming acquainted with him, happily gave him Krishna mantra. He gave Dukhi the Vaishnav name Krishnadas, and so he was known from then on as Dukhi Krishnadas. Hriday Chaitanya ordered him to go to Vrindavan and take up a life of intense bhajan. One thing I've always wondered about there's so many songs that are written by Krishnadas, and I think there are many different Krishnadases, but I'm wondering which songs, I don't know if anybody knows this, which songs are actually Śyāmānanda Prabhu's songs, like the Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan, was that written by Śyāmānanda Prabhu and under the name Dukhi Krishna? Oh no, that's Dina Krishnadas. I don't know. Anyways, I don't think anybody knows that. Though Dukhi Krishnadas did not like being separated from his Gurudev, following his order, he set off for Vraj, first visiting Navadip and other places in Gauramandal, where he sought the blessings of the Vaishnavas. After spending much time on pilgrimage, he finally arrived in Vrindavan, where he became completely absorbed in the worship of Sri Radha Shama Sundar. In Vrindavan, Dukhi Krishnadas studied the Vaishnav scriptures under Sri Jiva Gosvāmī, who is the leading scholar of the Sampradaya. When Hriday Chaitanya heard of the enthusiasm with which Dukhi Krishnadas was leading the devotional life in Vraj, he wrote a letter to Jiva Gosvāmī in which he said that Jiva Gosvāmī should accept Dukhi Krishnadas as his own disciple. Just as he gave titles to his other prominent students, the Acharya title to Srinivas and Thakur title to Narottam, Jiva Gosvāmī gave the name Śyāmānanda to Dukhi Krishnadas. And he was already engaged in the service of Radha Shama Sundar, right? So, very fitting name, Śyāmānanda. The reasoning behind this name was that he brought great joy to Sri Radha Shama Sundar. Okay, so when we hear his name, Śyāmānanda, we can think that he got his name because he brings Ananda, joy, to Radha Shama Sundar, who he so beautifully worshipped. And this is from Bhakti Ratnakar, same first chapter, verse 401. He brought great joy to Shama Sundar, and hence he was given the new name Śyāmānanda in Vrindavan. Seeing his sincere endeavor in devotion, Sri Jiva Gosvāmī taught him devotional scriptures. Jiva Gosvāmī sent Srinivasacharya, Narottam Das Thakur, and Śyāmānanda Prabhu back to Bengal with the Vaishnav scriptures written by the Goswamis in 1504 of the Shaka era. That's 1582 AD. The idea was to spread the teachings found in these books throughout Bengal and Orissa. So the first book distribution party. We have already related the events that took place when Viraham had these books stolen. Narottam Thakur went to northern Bengal, and Śyāmānanda Prabhu went to Orissa. The Medinipur district was previously under the rule of the Orissan king. Okay, Radharani's special mercy on Śyāmānanda. Even though Śyāmānanda Prabhu was Hriday Chaitanya's initiated disciple, his guru had entrusted him to the care of Jiva Gosvāmī Prabhu. Through the association of Jiva Gosvāmī and service to him, Śyāmānanda Prabhu developed a taste for serving Radha and Krishna in the conjugal mood. Hriday Chaitanya Prabhu himself was a disciple of Gauridas Pandit, who is one of the 12 Gopalas, Subal Saka. He thus worshipped Gaur Nitai in the mood of friendship. Those who think that Śyāmānanda Prabhu committed an offense to his initiating spiritual master by abandoning his mood and by serving Krishna in a different mood are wrong. The mood of friendship is contained within the conjugal mood. If a disciple makes further progress in spiritual life, it enhances the reputation of his teacher. An extraordinary incident which took place in Vrindavan prior to his being ordered by Jiva Goswami to return to Orissa demonstrates how dear Śyāmānanda Prabhu was to Radharani. One day, Śyāmānanda Prabhu was sweeping the Ras Mandal in Vrindavan, absorbed in an ecstatic trance. Suddenly, by Radharani's transcendental mercy, he found her ankle bracelet, her nupur, lying on the ground. In his excitement, he touched the ankle bracelet to his forehead, where it left a mark, which is preserved to this day as the tilak marking of the disciple descendants of Śyāmānanda Prabhu. It is known as Nupur Tilak. Śyāmānanda Prabhu's preaching. How is that? I guess it just tells it in that very briefly. Anyhow, okay, we'll just continue. Śyāmānanda Prabhu's preaching. Or should we read it in more, like the more details? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let me find in, must be, I know my Gurudev explained it. Also, let's try BC Vani. Śrī Śyāmānanda Prabhu. Okay. Okay. So this is Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj. He says, once Śyāmānanda Prabhu was sweeping the grove at Sevakunj in Vrindavan. He found Srimati Radharani's ankle bracelet lying on the ground. Overcome by ecstatic symptoms just by its touch, he reverentially touched it to his forehead, and the nupur, the ankle bell, left a mark. Due to this mark, his tilak looked different. Yogamaya then approached Śyāmānanda Prabhu and said, my daughter-in-law's nupur, ankle bell, fell off her feet while she was dancing. If you have found it, please return it to me. However, Śyāmānanda Prabhu insisted, I shall return the nupur only to its owner. Then Srimati Radharani herself appeared to reclaim her nupur, and in turn offered a beautiful deity of Shyamasundar to Śyāmānanda Prabhu. Indeed, Śyāmānanda Prabhu is the recipient of the very special mercy of Srimati Radharani. That small deity of Shyamasundar, gifted by Srimati Radharani, can still be found in the Shyamasundar temple in Vrindavan. In the same temple, the big deity of Shyamasundar was established by Baladev Vijayabhushan Prabhu later. To instruct us not to supplant, I don't know, authority by overstepping set standards, Sri Jiva Goswami chastised Śyāmānanda Prabhu for having changed his tilak to a nupur tilak instead of the conventional tilak adorned by the Guru Varga. Then Śyāmānanda Prabhu related the entire story behind the nupur tilak. Each time he attempted to wipe off the nupur tilak, it reappeared on his forehead by its own accord. Thus, it was accepted as a bona fide mark. To this day, the nupur tilak is adorned by the descendants of Śyāmānanda. And yeah, I'm used to hearing this story instead of Purnamasi, it is Lalita and Vishaka who approach Śyāmānanda. So we hear it in different ways. I wonder if it's on purebhakti.com. I'm going to get another my Srila Gurudev's. It's a beautiful thing, though, always to see the different angles of our acharyas. Santi Ras. No, I don't see it here. Anyhow, it's okay. Okay, so Śyāmānanda Prabhu's preaching, or going back to Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Goswami Maharaj. Srinivasacharya, Narottam Thakur, and Śyāmānanda Prabhu primarily preached the message of Mahaprabhu through kirtan. The styles that these three acharyas used, respectively, were named Manohar Sahi. So that is Srinivasacharya's style is Manohar Sahi. And then Garan Hatti, That's the style of Narottam Das Thakur. And Reniti. That's the style of Śyāmānanda Prabhu. And what I heard, I'm not sure if this is correct. I want to find out more about this, but um, I heard that the Garanhati style of Narottam Das Thakur is very difficult. It's very like it takes 1 hour to just get through one song. And um, I've heard the style of kirtan that people said that this is Narottam Das Thakur's style. I'm not sure how, because after that much time, how do things change? We don't, nobody can say, but um, but yeah, it's like they'll go like it'll take 1 hour to sing Jadi. Sorry, it'll take 1 hour to sing Gorangera Dutipada, and there's like in the Gora, and then everybody will hit all this, and then like there's something going on in their head, and everybody will there'll be like a 30-second pause, and then all of a sudden at this one moment everybody will hit the instruments, and it's really amazing and dramatic and like just awesome, but it's also not so accessible to general people. You have to have like a very be very expert, like have a very good knowledge and all that. And I heard Shyamananda Prabhu's style of kirtan was more accessible, and so the style of kirtan that we do is more under Shyamananda Prabhu, like the Mridanga mantras that we learned and all that. I could be wrong about that, but yeah. And I'm just seeing um, Manjuri Didi saying classical music based according to Bhakti Ratnakar. Huh. Yeah, this is a topic I'd love to go deeper into this and find out everything that we can about these different styles of kirtan. That'd be really awesome. Okay, that's one of my missions. Okay. So through these three different styles, Manohar Sai, Garanhati, and Reniti, they would enchant the listeners with their heartfelt singing of kirtan. Unfortunately, these styles of kirtan are no longer extant. Okay, that is very unfortunate. I think there are people who say that it's and this, but it's probably mixed in with other things. So it's not the pure form of these. The pure form has been lost. But there is still something remaining, like there are certain Mridanga mantras that um and things like that. So, but yeah, how can we actually expect everything to be fully preserved if there's no kind of recording system or anything like that? So as a result of Shyamananda Prabhu's preaching in Orissa, many Muslims also became his disciples. The most important of his innumerable disciples was Rasika Murari, or Rasikananda. Rasikananda was the son of Achyutananda, the zamindar of Rohini village. He had another name, Murari, and was thus commonly known as Rasika Murari. He was a very powerful preacher, and his fame is still widespread throughout the villages of Orissa. He has some amazing stories, taming a mad elephant and making that elephant his disciple, I think, even. Anyways, so a list of some of Shyamananda Prabhu's prominent disciples is given in the Bhakti Ratnakar. Okay, this is from 15th. Uh, what is it? In Bhakti Ratnakar, are they vilasas? I forgot what the chapters are called, but yeah, 15th chapter. Shyamananda made disciples all over the place. A person can be purified by hearing their names. Okay, so these are the names of the disciples of Shyamananda. Radhananda, Purushottama, Manohar, Chintamani, Ballabhadra, Jagadishwar, Uddhava, Akrura, Madhuvan, Govinda, Jagannath, Gadadhar. I like this name. Anandananda, Ananda, the bliss of bliss, and Radha Mohan. Shyamananda was constantly immersed in the joys of kirtan in the association of these disciples. Poets have described his wonderful pastimes for the pleasure of everyone. Just looking at the comments, one second. All right, Haribol Sarveshwari Mataji. Any audio, Chatamai Mataji is asking if there are any audio examples available for these styles. I think there is one. I wrote down his name. Krishna Kirtan, Padavali Kirtan. Maybe we can look that up in YouTube afterwards. But there is one ISKCON devotee who is trained up in this style of, I think, like Garanhati style. That's what I heard at least. And like from childhood, yeah, we can check that out at the end, maybe. And Rukmini Didi saying, I wonder if that Radha Mohan is the one who wrote Sake Kalaya Goram Udaram. Yeah, that would be very interesting to find out. There are a bunch of other songs by Radha Mohan also in the songbook. What are some other ones? There is my God, how there are a few. Why is my mind going blank? There's Vande Vishwambara Parakamalam. There's uh what is it? Shishachi Sutta Anupama Rupam. What is that one? And then there's also Sakala Vaishnava Goshai. Sorry, yeah. There's also a few different ones. We added some new ones also in the new songbook that weren't in the songbook before. Okay, another of Śyāmānanda Prabhu's notable disciple was a yogi named Damodar, whom he converted to Vaishnavism. Narahari Chakravarti has written the following account of that conversion in Bhakti Ratnakar. He says, Śyāmānanda mercifully flooded the yoga practitioner named Damodar with devotional ras. After becoming his disciple, Damodar constantly cried and chanted the names of Nitai Chaitanya. Who could remain untouched by his ecstatic absorption? He danced, crying out, Bhakti is the best of all! After delivering Damodar, Śyāmānanda continued to travel about, distributing the jewel of devotion to everyone. That's from Bhakti Ratnakar, chapter 15. Śyāmānanda Prabhu put on a large festival at Dharenda with Rasika Murari and Damodar that is still remembered today by his descendants. When he left the world, Śyāmānanda Prabhu turned over the service of Sri Govinda at Gopi Vallabhpur to his dear disciple Rasikananda Dev Gosvāmī. Śyāmānanda Prabhu's disciples and their descendants still worship his deity Radha Shyam-Sundar in Vrindavan. This temple is still one of the principal pilgrimage sites in Vrindavan. Śyāmānanda Prabhu lived the last part of his life in Nrasingapur in Orissa, where he continued preaching Vaishnavism. His earthly pastimes came to an end on the first day of the waning moon in the month of Ashad in 1552 of the Shaka era, which is 1631 AD. To preserve his holy memory, the branch of the Gaudiya Math in Medinipur city was named Śyāmānanda Gaudiya Math. Oh, and I'm seeing there's another comment from Rukmini Didi that I missed. She said, in Śrīla Narottam Das Thakur also preached in Manipur, and there are Vaishnavas there that's still in that lineage of Narottam Das Thakur. I wonder if they've managed to preserve Narottam Das Thakur's style of kirtan. That would be very interesting to see. All right. Oh, and Haribo Vidilala Didi, Chatamai Didi, Brian, and Krishnamai Didi. Haribo. Okay, so now we will read a little bit about Vaṁśivadanānanda Ṭhākura. This is just like a couple paragraphs from Jaiva Dharma I found. This is chapter 11 in Jaiva Dharma. It says, on the western bank of the Bhagirathi, in the Koldweep district of Navadip, there is a famous village named Kulia Paharpur. That's where I am. I'm in Kulia. At the time of Srimad Mahaprabhu, a highly respected and influential Vaishnava named Sri Madhav Das Chattopadhyay, also known as Chakori Chattopadhyay, he lived in that village. Chakori Chattopadhyay, he had a son named Śrīla Vaṁśivadanānanda Ṭhākura. By the mercy of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, Śrī Vaṁśivadanānanda had tremendous power and authority. Everyone addressed him as Vaṁśivadanānanda Prabhu because they regarded him as an incarnation of Krishna's flute. He was renowned as a special recipient of Sri Vishnupriya's mercy. After Sri Priyaji's disappearance, Vaṁśi Prabhu transferred the deity whom she had worshipped from Sri Dham Mayapur to Kulia Paharpur. and his descendants carried out the service of this deity for some time after that. However, when his descendants obtained the mercy of Sri Janavamata and moved from Kulia Paharpur to Shripat Bhagnapada, the worship of the deity was continued in Kuliagram by the Sevites of Malancha. Oh, I've been to Malancha. That's one of the parts of my Tīrtha Mahārāja's Prachar field. I was there actually when my Gurudev entered Nitya Lila. I remember that. And very interesting because Bhagnapada, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur took Diksha in the Bhagnapada line, right? That's Vipin Bihari is in Bhagnapada. Very interesting. But yeah, and this deity of Mahaprabhu is said to be the very first Vigraha established of Mahaprabhu, the very first one. There is no Vigraha of Mahaprabhu before that Vishnupriya Devi worshipped. Now here's an excerpt from chapter 5 of Navadip Mahatma. It's right when this is the first part where Nityananda Prabhu is taking Jiva Goswami on Parikrama. The first place they go to is Yogapit. I'm not going to read the Bengali because we have so much to get through, but they entered Sri Jagannath Mishra's house, and Sri Nityananda Prabhu made a submission at Sri Shachimata's lotus feet. O Mother, this supremely intelligent Jiva, who is a dear servant of Sri Gauranga, is very fortunate. Upon hearing these words of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Jiva fainted, falling to the ground like a tree uprooted by a great storm. Sri Jiva fell at Shachimata's feet and rolled on the ground. Various ecstatic symptoms manifested in his body in competition with each other. Mother Sachi mercifully blessed Sri Jiva. That day they all took prasad in that very house. Sri Vishnupriya Devi prepared rice, vegetables, and many other kinds of dishes on the order of Mother Sachi. After some time, Sri Vaṁśivadanānanda Prabhu offered the preparations with great attention to Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Ishan Thakur arranged a sitting place, and with an extremely joyful heart, served prasad to Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Filled with motherly affection, Sri Shachi Devi told Sri Nityananda Prabhu, she said, "Finally, my son, you are at your mother's house. Now eat with great joy. I have secretly offered this prasad to Gaurachandra, so if you will affectionately accept it, I will become most happy at heart." Hearing the words of Mother Shachi, Sri Nityananda Prabhu blissfully accepted the prasad, and Sri Jiva Goswami received his remnants. Sri Jiva said, "I am blessed, having taken prasad today at Mahaprabhu's house in Mayapur." After eating, Sri Nityananda Prabhu paid his obeisances at Mother Shachi's feet and begged her permission to leave. As Sri Nityananda Prabhu was leaving, he took Vaṁśivadanānanda with him. Sri Jiva offered obeisances at the feet of Vaṁśivadanānanda Prabhu. Okay, we can read the Bengali for this part. Jiva prati bole Prabhu e Vaṁśivadan, Shri Krishner priya Vaṁśi jane bhakta jan. Sri Nityananda Prabhu said, "Jiva, all devotees know this Vaṁśivadanānanda to be an incarnation of Shri Krishna's dear flute. Ihar kripay jiva hoy Krishna Krishna, Mahārāja labhe shabe hoya satrishna." By his mercy, the jivas become attracted to Shri Krishna and become eager to enter Mahārāja. Wow, and that's very appropriate then. He took birth, he appeared on the day of Krishna's Vasanti Ras and Baladev's Ras Yatra. And it's by his mercy that the jivas become attracted to enter, they become attracted to Krishna and become eager to enter the Mahārāja. Dekho jiv e grihe Caitanya Ṭhākura, ama sabha loye lila korilo prachur. Look, Jiva, in this house, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata performed many pastimes with all of us. Okay, I'm going to skip the Bengali. Look here, this is Jagannath Mishra's temple. Daily, in a steadfast manner, he used to sit here to worship Lord Vishnu. Just see this house where he used to serve guests. Also take darshan of this platform where he worshipped Tulsi. As long as Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the maintainer of the devotees, remained at home, he used to follow the behavior shown by his father. Now Ishan Thakur performs all these duties under the guidance of Sri Vaṁśivadanānanda Prabhu. At this place, there was a great neem tree which disappeared by Mahaprabhu's touch. When Sri Nityananda Prabhu described these places, he was crying. In the same way, Sri Jiva and Sri Vaṁśivadanānanda Prabhu were also crying. Okay, so that is from Navadip Mahatma. And now, what time is it? 7:47. I don't think we have time. Oh, God. Wish time didn't move so fast. Because I want to read about Baladev's Rasyatra. How long is this? It says 6 minutes. Okay, let's just read excerpts from this. This is from Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Gosvāmī Mahārāja's Śrī Caitanya and his associates. So this is from Gaur Ganadesh Dipika. Vaṁśi Krishna Priya Yasit Sa Vaṁśi Dasa Ṭhākura. That means Vaṁśivadanānanda Ṭhākura was Krishna's dear flute in Vraj. That's from the Gaur Ganadesh Dipika 179. The gopis praised the good fortune of Krishna's flute, for he was able to constantly drink the nectar of Krishna's lips. Everything in Vraj is spiritual, that is conscious, and so the flute could take human form as Sri Vaṁśivadanānanda Ṭhākura. His life story has been recounted by his great-grandson Sri Ballabha Das in the book Vaṁśivilas. Other books which contain details of his life are Shripat Parjatan and Bhakti Ratnakar, and the Gaudiya Vaishnava Abhidhan also gives a brief biography. Vaṁśivadanānanda Ṭhākura was known by 5 names in Gaudiya Vaishnava society: Vaṁśivadan, Vaṁśidas, just Vaṁśi, and just Vadan, and Vadanānanda. And you'll find we added in, I think, 3 songs into the new Gaudiya Giti Gucha by Vaṁśidas. So I'm pretty sure that's Vaṁśivadanānanda Ṭhākura. I hope so, because that's the name I gave. He was a well-known writer of devotional songs, so that's why I'm guessing it was him, because it says he was a well-known writer of devotional songs. His appearance took place on the day of, and just imagine that, the songs written by Krishna's flute. Usually Krishna's flute just gets played by Krishna, whatever melody Krishna wants to play. And now that flute of Krishna is writing songs. I just thought that was really neat. Okay. So his appearance took place on the day of the spring full moon in the month of Chaitra, in either 1416, according to Vaṁśi Shiksha, or 1427 of the Shaka era, which is 1495 or 1506 AD. Wow, it seems like there's a lot written about Vaṁśivadanānanda Ṭhākura though, huh? Okay, so Vaṁśivadanānanda's home in Navadip. In the Shripat Parjatan, the following information is given. The 2 villages known as Kulia and Paharpur were side by side. Vaṁśivadan, Kavidatta, and Saranga Thakur lived there. As the town grew, it was known as Kulia Paharpur, so the 2 names merged together. Vaṁśivadanānanda Thakur's home was in Koladweep, that is, the present-day town of Navadip, formerly known as Kulia Paharpur. Chakari Chattopadhyay was Vaṁśivadan's father. His mother's name was Chandrakala Devi. I just read that in Jivadharma. It is said that both Mahaprabhu and Advaita Acharya were present when Vaṁśivadanānanda was born. After Mahaprabhu took sannyas, Vaṁśivadanānanda was engaged as Sachimata and Vishnupriya's servant and protector. On one occasion, Vaṁśi embraced Srinivasacharya emotionally and then went to Vishnupriya and Sachimata. This is described in the Bhakti Ratnakar. Though he had not been introduced, Vaṁśivadanānanda guessed that this must be Srinivas. He approached him and asked him who he was. Srinivas told him everything about himself. Vaṁśivadanānanda embraced him and washed his body with his tears. Srinivas wanted to fall to the ground and pay obeisances to Vaṁśi Thakur, but Vaṁśi would not free him from his embrace. He then went and told Vishnupriya and Shachimata that Srinivas had come. So that's from chapter 4 of Bhakti Ratnakar. So Vaṁśivadanānanda Ṭhākura had beautiful interactions with Srinivas and also with Śrīla Jiva Gosvāmī. Vaṁśivadanānanda Ṭhākura lived as a householder. He had two sons, Caitanya Das and Nityananda Das. His deity's name was Ballabha. Later, at Vishnupriya Devi's request, he established the worship of the Mahaprabhu deity. He also worshipped his forefathers' Gopinath deity. He spent the last part of life in his ancestral village of Bilvagram. The Bhattacharyas of that village are said to be his descendants. Okay. Oh wait, Ramai Thakur. Vaṁśivadanānanda Thakur's grandson, the son of Caitanya Das, was named Sri Ramachandra or Ramai Thakur. He found Rama and Krishna deities at Praskandan Tīrtha in Vrindavan and then brought them to Bhagnapara in the Burdwan district. They are known as Sri Ram Kanai. Vaṁśivadanānanda Thakur's family received the mercy of Janava Thakurani. The following comment is found in the Gaudiya Vaishnava magazine. In the Gaudiya Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada's weekly magazine, issue 22. No, year 22, issue number 30 to 37. It says, Janava Mata, the potency of Sriman Nityananda Prabhu, asked for Ramachandra to be given to her. She gave him initiation and then took him to Kardaha, where she taught him Vaishnava philosophy. And then here's a song by Vaṁśivadanānanda Ṭhākura. I'm not going to sing it because I'll just read the translation. So, no more will I see the broad forehead decorated with tilak and sandalwood dots. No more will I see his eyes dance like hummingbirds in the golden lotus and in the golden lotus of his face. No longer will he dance in Srivasa's house with his chatak-like devotees. No more will he dance in his own home while looking upon me. Will Nimai and Nitai, those two divine brothers, ever dance together again? I constantly call out Nimai's name, but Nimai is nowhere to be seen. The heartless Keshav Bharati came and threw a thunderbolt on all of our heads. How can we now stay in Navadip, now that we cannot see Gauranga here? Who here can now bring my Gauranga back? When Vaṁśi hears the Lord's young wife and her mother-in-law crying, he rolls on the ground in pain. Wow, what a heavy song. This is a really perfect song to sing at Nirdoi Ghat on Navadip Parikrama. I'll have to remember that for next year when we go on Parikrama there. Usually we sing a song, Shayana Mandire, Shri Gauranga Sundar, but this is even a better one, I think. All right, so that is Vaṁśivadanānanda Ṭhākura. Looks like we won't have time to read from Caitanya-bhāgavata. Maybe we can continue this tomorrow, though. We can read this first chapter of Caitanya-bhāgavata about Baladev Ras Yatra. And also we could read about Vasanti Ras tomorrow, I think. I'll just end reading about this short thing, because we only have 5 minutes. I'll read from, this is the Vrajmandal Parikrama book of my Srila Gurudev on Ramghat. This place lies on the bank of the Yamuna, 2 miles east of Sherghar. Its present name is Obe. Baladev Prabhu performed Ras Leela here. Shri Krishna and Balaram had been living in Dwarka for a long time. The Vrajavasis' distress caused by their separation from them was so great that Shri Krishna sent Shri Baladev to Vraj to console them. At that time, Nanda Gokul, where they resided, was here. Baladev spent the 2 months of the Chaitra and Vaishak in Nanda Vraj and tried his utmost to console his parents, the Sakas, and the Gopis. And if you want, you can recite this verse with me. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:65-17. Dvau maso tatra chavatsin madhung madhavameva cha ramakshapasu bhagavan gopinam ratim avahan. Okay. In the end, to alleviate the agony of the gopis' separation, Baladev performed ras here, complete with dancing and singing. At that time, Varunadev induced divinely fragrant Varuni, a sweet nectar found in trees, to start flowing. Baladev and his beloveds drank this Varuni and, becoming intoxicated, enjoyed the ras. To sport in the water and to quench the thirst of the gopis, he called Yamuna, who was flowing some distance away. When she did not come, however, he dragged her over to them with his plow. He and the gopis then sported in the Yamuna's water. Even today, the Yamuna leaves her natural course and flows by Ramakot. A doubt may arise as to how Baladev could perform ras with Sri Krishna's beloved gopis. This would be wholly improper from the perspective of ras. It also seems improper for Baladev to have dragged Yamuna with his plow, since she is a manifestation of Vishaka, and therefore a beloved of Krishna. Such doubts, however, arise only in the minds of those who lack knowledge of the absolute truth. Ordinary people cannot understand the real nature of transcendental ras. Sri Krishna's and Baladev's ras does not contain even the slightest trace of material licentiousness or desire for lusty enjoyment. Furthermore, Baladev performed ras only with his own group of beloved gopis. This is clear from Sri Murari Gupta's Sri Krishna Charita. And here's a quote from Krishna Charita. It says, Tatascha pashyatra vasantavesho Shri Rama Krishno Vrajasundari Vikridatu swaswayuteshvaribhi samam rasagyo kaladhotamandito nrityanato gopibi sardagayanto rasabhavito gayanti bhishcharamabhir nrityanti bhishchashobhito. That's from Murari Gupta's Sri Krishna Chaitanya Charita. You want to, let's see, well, there's no translation here, but we can just see what ChatGPT comes up with. You want? 1 second, let me just open it. This might not be an accurate translation, but we'll see. Let's try it out. 1 second. I'm just sharing my screen again. Translate this Sanskrit verse about holidays. Okay, let's see what it says. Okay, so then behold, here Sri Ram, Sri Baladev, and Krishna in springtime attire, sporting with the beautiful young women of Vraj, each with the leader of his own group, equal in their knowledge of ras, adorned with melodies sweet as artful music. Dancing and singing with the gopis, immersed in the moods of ras, they shine, surrounded by Ramas, that's Baladev's gopis, who are singing, and by those who are dancing as well. I'm not sure if that's, anyways, that might not be an accurate translation, but looks like it. I don't know, who knows. Okay, so now Sri Murari Gupta's Sri Krishna, so now Yamuna is Vishaka herself. She is a beloved of Krishna and one of the main girlfriends of Srimati Radhika. The Yamuna that flows into the sea is a manifestation of this Yamuna. It was this manifestation, not Yamuna herself, the beloved of Sri Krishna, who Baladev dragged with the nose of his plow. In this way, one's doubt on this subject can be dispelled. Okay, so it wasn't the manifestation of Vishaka Yamuna, it's just a manifestation of the Yamuna, but not directly Vishaka Devi, I mean, it's, I guess, like an expansion of Yamuna, I guess, that flows into the sea. Because, yeah, Vishaka Devi doesn't flow into the sea like that, like the other Yamuna, I guess. Um, I don't know. So, Sri Nityananda Prabhu came here during his tour of Braj Mandal. When he took darshan of this place, he became absorbed in transcendental ecstasy. Near the temple of Balaram is an Ashwata tree, which is known to be a Saka of Balaram. It was here that Balaram's Ras Leela took place. Wow, so that big Ashwata tree that we circumambulate when we go to Ramghat is a Saka of Balaram. Interesting. All right, so that is our program for today. It's 8 o'clock, so we'll end here. And I think I'm going to continue this on tomorrow. We'll read, um, we'll read from chapter 1 of Caitanya-bhāgavata, and also we'll read the Vasant Raslila pastime in, what is it? Nectar of Govinda Lila. All right. Um, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Right. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai, Jai Shri Param Gurudev Ki Jai, Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai, Swaparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopikan Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Jai Shri Krishna, sorry, Shri Baladev Prabhu's Ras Yatra ki Jai, Shri Krishna's Vasanti Ras Yatra ki Jai, Jai Shri Vaṁśivadanānanda Ṭhākura ki Jai, Jai Shri Śyāmānanda Prabhu ki Jai, Tadev Shubha Avirbhav Titi ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo Vrindai Tulsidevai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Sattavatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranams, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Sarveshwari Mataji, Nitai Mukeshji, Ashray Tattva Prabhu, Rukmini Didi, Raseshwari Mataji, Vidyalala Didi, and oh, Madhavi's there. Haribol Madhavi, and my dad, Haribol Dad, and everybody else joining. Thank you so much for, and yeah, Haribol Rukmini Didi. Yeah, so I guess I'll continue this program again tomorrow. As I said, we'll read from Caitanya-bhāgavata, first chapter, and from Nectar of Govinda Lila, about Baladev Prabhu's and Krishna's Ras Leelas. All right. Is there anything anybody wants to mention before I end the stream for today? All right. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radha.